Hey friends, it's Ann with Social Media for Churches, and this is a question I get a lot. Should our church have a Facebook page or a Facebook group or both? I'm going to answer that question here today. Actually, I'm not going to answer it definitively, but I am going to give you some information that will help you decide. So, I will tell you in the question of whether or not to have a Facebook page or group, if you only have a group, I strongly encourage you to get a page, to set up a Facebook page for your church. Pages are much more visible than groups. Just for that fact alone, more people will see your content from a page than they will from a group, because a group is designed to be a community of people with a similar interest, whereas pages, business pages as they're often called, are public facing pages, and they just get seen by a lot more people. The people who are friends with people who already like and interact with your church are much more likely to see that if they are interacting with a page. They will not see it if they are interacting with a group, even if your group is public. So if you only have a group, I strongly encourage you to create a Facebook page. And here's a few reasons why. Let's look at that. So as I said, you get a greater reach. Pages are public by default. They're just out there, and there is a broader audience and a broader reach than you are going to get with your group. And then it's also more credible. When you post from your page, it comes out as from First United Presby Methodist Church. And all of your posts are from that organization and not from different people. So there's something a little more professional, a little more credible about that. And of course, you are controlling who puts the message out there. Whereas a group, anybody who wants to can post. In a page, you set who gets to post. So you can curate what gets posted on that page in a much better way than you can when you have a group. And then, of course, there's all these customization options that you don't have in a group. You can create tabs, you can do cover photos, you can those buttons that you can do, especially when you want people to register for things, or if people have questions or they want to get in touch with the pastor. Those buttons that are available on Facebook pages are just not available on your Facebook group. So you are just reaching more people with a Facebook page than you are with a group. So if you only have a group, do a Facebook page. And no, you can't change a group into a page. You have to create a new page. But then you can do a big invite for everybody who's in the group to come over and like the page. Now, do you want to then just get rid of your group? Maybe not. Probably not. It is okay for your church to have both a page and a group, because here's the beauty of groups, and many of you know this. They're member driven. So you do not have to do as much work with the content. If whoever is running the group can give some prompts, can ask some questions, and pretty soon your members will start creating that content. If they know this is a group where we are talking about our questions, about the Bible, about theology, we want to talk about what happened in the sermon and any questions or comments we have about that. Depending on who you are, you may love that, you may not. But that's a great place to have those discussions, because these are people who are invested in the church, they are interested in the church, and they want to keep talking online. So that you can keep your group for that. You can also control the privacy. And I really encourage you, if you only had a group, once you start your Facebook page, make your group private. It can still be visible so people can see that it's there. It'll be a visible one and people can ask to join, but that will really help you cut down on any bots or trolls or anything like that. And those really prey on groups that are left unattended. So if you do have a group, make sure that someone is monitoring it, that someone is making sure there is content on it, because when you leave those groups alone, that is when the trolls and the bots come in. So you do need to pay attention to your groups. And if you make them private, you can really avoid a lot of that. And then that's a great place to build community. And one of the things I sometimes talk about with some of my clients is onboarding. How do we onboard people that begin to interact with us? How do we onboard them into getting more involved with our communities? Well, if you have a Facebook page, that is a great way to do it. People who like your Facebook page interact with your page, and then you can invite them to join this group. Whereas the page, you're giving Bible verses, you're giving bits of sermon, or maybe entire sermons, you're giving what's coming up at the church, you are talking about Bible study, any number of things where your Facebook group is that's where the people can get more engaged in your community. So yes, both and Facebook page, Facebook group. Do you have to have both? No. But if you only have one, you want a Facebook page and not only a group. So while I've got you here, let's just talk real quick about what some of the best practices are for both of these things. So the best practices for pages, if you've watched me at all, you want to post consistently. Use images and videos. This is a very image video driven platform. And even if you are going to more and more long texts are getting more and more views, both on Facebook and Instagram, you still want an image. You never want to post just a long text in your Facebook post. Always have an image. It is an image driven platform. Instagram is more so, but it is still true of Facebook. And you want to engage with your followers. Do not leave your Facebook page alone. Make sure somebody is monitoring it at least once a day so that you're going in. If people have questions, comments, you or somebody at the church can respond to them. And then utilize your insights. Great analytics that are easy to follow. And if I say they're easy to follow, they are easy to follow. I would never, ever pass a class in statistics. But the way that the Meta gives you that information, you can start to see, okay, these are the kind of posts our people are engaging with, or the people we are trying to reach are engaging with. And these are the kind of posts that nobody seems to notice or want to engage with or talk about. So that is such a great tool. So those are best practices for your Facebook page. And then for your groups, and you may have more than one Facebook group. You may have a group that's dedicated to a certain topic. You can have temporary groups. I do a lot of that. I have groups that are live for like 6 weeks at a time, and then you can pause the group so that the trolls don't come, and then you can take it live again in a year when that season comes up again. But for whatever your Facebook groups are, you want to have clear community guidelines. Those are important. You can post them at the top of your group. You can remind people of these, what is and isn't okay to share in this group. And do not be afraid to kick somebody out of the group if they are not following the community guidelines. I say this over and over again. This is your church's platform. You do not owe anybody the right and privilege of using your platform as their platform. So if people violate the community guidelines, best practice, give them a warning. Sometimes people don't know, hey, this is not what we use this page for. This is why I took your post down. And then if they continue to do that, you can just block them from the group, and that is okay. Again, you want to be active in your moderation so that you can see that. You may need to, if you're not getting a lot of community posts, you may want to just encourage participation. You may want to ask some questions. You may want to put some topics out there. Hey, this week, what are your questions about da-da-da-da? Post them here on this group and let's talk about them. And then use it to share, and this is kind of a social media industry term, value-driven content. But that, I think we understand what that means. This is a place where you want to share your church's values. These are people who are already interested in your church. They've already invested some of their time, even if it is just time online, and they do want to know more about you. What do you believe? What are the things you are involved in? Why are you doing that? And yes, you can post those things on your Facebook page, but it's on your Facebook groups that you're really going to have people get into that and talk about it and learn about it. So I hope I've given you enough information. If you were thinking about page or group or both, yes and, both and are great. If you only have a group, you definitely need a page. And of course, if you have any questions about that, you can drop them in the comments here. I'll be glad to answer whatever I can. Like and follow to get more tips and hacks for how to make your social media ministry more effective.